So aside from geopolitics, aside from the Middle East, one of the topics that's been raging is AI, artificial intelligence, as well as robots. And I recently saw a story about the robots being made for women. Kind of creepy when you think about the Terminator potential, and how about the Russians and their advancement with the Terminator robots. So a lot of these things are being developed. They talk about AI being used to censor free speech, get out the fake news, when we know that AI is actually being used against us. But we could actually see on a microcosm with YouTube and the ad thing and the demonetization and the bots. But this is just a small taste of things to come. So, for good reason, there's a lot of concern about AI. I watched one video today from Reprogram the Matrix, and he's talking about becoming less human, becoming a non human through this interface with technology. Trying to think of some of the specific examples. But what I can know, talk about troll like behavior that's happening across the board on a level. And I've been on the internet for a while, researching and sharing stuff in forums. And a lot of these places where people gather feel like almost no go zones for people with consciousness, people that are in that, not in that fight mentality. So this is kind of turned into like a massive psyops, just the internet in general, the influence. People are like living these fears, and I understand there are injustices taking place all over the world, including to whites. But what the internet is used also as propaganda by certain people that use certain stories for their own agenda when they serve an agenda. And people need to start being able to look within for the answers and recognize when someone's pushing an agenda. How do you do that? One person asked about the pineal gland and other things. I don't really get too deep into stuff like that. I made a few videos on meditation, but let me say this. If we're not consciously working to maintain ourselves spiritually, it's like taking a shower. It's basic hygiene. So there are things you can learn on your own about grounding and protecting yourself and not engaging in certain behaviors. I do think now more than ever that uncontrolled, unrestricted, promiscuous activity can lead to some spiritual problems in a number of people. I think we forget that in drug abuse and addiction to certain things, including television. And so I'm not perfect. And I see definitely the influence on YouTube and social media, even on myself and on others. Because a big part of it, and the bombardment of it, even if it's true, is to keep people in a state of fear, affect their energy, affect their frequency to a point where they're not functioning, bombarded by fear, bombarded. I remember hearing followers of Adam Kokesh years ago when he was going through that controversy saying, well, if you're not on the list, you're doing something wrong. See, there's negative things people say about their reality. And I think that some of the things that we say about our reality and each other, it matters. It has an impact on our health. So with the troll-like behavior on the part of some, I've seen people say things about hurting others that it's like, would you say that in front of your family members? So there's like an aspect of the system that seems to be fermenting this. Obviously, we could see in the media. Oh, and the fake wars between the media and Donald Trump, when I think it's one and the same. So people are getting crazy. The internet's a tool. It can do a lot to bring us together. I've said this for years, including Facebook groups. But it ends up turning people into a lot of Facebook or social media potatoes when there's more to life than that. And a lot of people said, oh, it's about killing your TV and this and that, all these memes on the internet. But going from one form of watching moving images to another form of watching moving images, going this time, all you can watch, all you can eat. And it's like it's an all you can eat fast food buffet when you're just going on what YouTube's recommending to you in the trending section. And we're not just talking about trendy and gaming, what's considered normal. There's like the trending manufactured conspiracy content meant to catch people into a way. Man, I've seen so much insane things on YouTube. I mean, where would I begin? And if I start saying, well, this is a psyops, well, like, hey, that's not a psyops. I'm all about that. I'm waving the flag for that. You must be a shill. So must I go down that road? But there are things out there that clearly I'm like, and here's Facebook. You're recommending this? You're recommending this. You're recommending this post from a fake bot when I click on their profile, saying that the Muslims are invading such and such community. Well, Facebook and Zuckerberg is like, we're going to create AI to fight hate speech. Well, according to the feed on my side of the monitor, you're promoting it. People are clicking and sharing. How about Your News Wire? How about FocusUS.com? These are like the modern day, what does it mean, source default websites of the moment. And I start note counter current news. And see, there's certain websites also. They have some decent news. They may report on some hate crimes. They look at other things going, wait a minute, is that even real? So they engage in a little bit of sensational. We have like literally aspects of fake news on the left. People spinning and spinning and spinning, even fake news about Donald Trump. Donald Trump just did it. And I'm not a Donald Trump fan. I'm saying, like, no, we should never stoop to fake news. And it's not that difficult to fact check. The problem is, I don't know what's going on with human psychology. Some people were just, their education of the world was the internet. And things seemed legit for a while. And in recent years, now it's flooded with this info. I'm honest with you. Okay? I believe that intuition is a part of our human nature. And it shows more in some than others. But I think that it's within us. So when I come across some of these fake news headlines, I get a sense. But I also see patterns with certain people posting nothing but headlines from questionable websites, leading me to speculate why that is. It's almost like they're caught in this web, pulls them in. They find themselves promoting the website day in and day out. I haven't realized that that's a fake headline. Even if the idea behind it, the fact that, example, back in 2013, there was fake news about the aliens intervening in a space war or a nuke war between Obama and Putin. And there's elements of it that does bring in things like the archons and other things, and they're spinning stuff that may have a semblance of truth in it. But by the time you read the article, you're like, what was this? And I don't think it's by accident. There's so much of it. So when I'm advocating reading, and advocating writing, advocating, it's like a buffet line. You're in Vegas, right? You got all the Big Macs over here, and then you have some all organic from a part of the sea, not near Fukushima, ahi, with maybe some quinoa, maybe over here some tabbouleh, maybe over here some kale, right? It's like we have options, right? So the internet is what an old teacher actually called an anarchy of information. And that's true. That's true more now than ever. So it's like you can have total ignorance walking upon that buffet and just go by your smells and what's pulling you in the most. Or you can have an education about each of those foods. Over here, you want to stay away from those French fries from McDonald's buffet line. And you spent $17.99 or $10.99 to get in the door. Here's here's a shot of wheatgrass. You can add that to your appetizer as you get ready for that. But see, when I look at the internet, I'm even being more selective, and I'm not even. You've heard me talk about like the Alex Jones deception, and I've given you my take. I'm no longer even watching videos criticizing Alex Jones because I don't want to pollute that consciousness, my consciousness, with that negativity. I've said my part. I don't need to keep going on talking about the dude or showing clips. I've said my part. If more needs to be said or done, maybe it needs to be written down, put into a book. I'm talking about that more and more. Like fast food, drawn in quickly, kind of leaves you with a little bit of indigestion. Ooh, here's another protest video. Somebody got beat up in Portland, Oregon, pulling back from looking any further. It's gotten to the point where I'm really tapped into what's going on there with those current supposed political games, which is basically what it is. Games. You don't hear issues down there just fighting. Sometimes I wish, and I have a admit, that I was down there and I was giving both groups, the Trump supporters and Antifa, a piece of my mind. There's a part of me that you don't hear a lot about, that I don't get into, that burns to have that moment with both crowds about what they're not talking about. A lot of them have been mind fucked. And the internet is a double-edged sword. It can be used for me to reach you tonight with this message. And it's also used to keep people in the loop. So be mindful with what you've got here. And don't forget about the outside world. Breathing, connecting with nature, reading, traveling, taking many road trips within an hour of where you live, camping for a few nights, resetting. Some people feel like they need to keep their cell phone for an emergency. Fine, but don't check your Facebook for a day. Don't watch YouTube. Don't listen to music off the cell phone. Read, write, practice connecting with nature. These are the things that keep us human. And when I look at where we're going, it seems like a less human reality. So it's important to note what even others have referred to as this in-between age, between the age of the physical, the analog, and the digital, the simulation. And with that, I want to thank you for watching.